15 extra minutes from what you told me. You told me 6:30. I choose the 6:45. Okay.
Like to have you.
Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Jatam Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Sham Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitamsham Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Sarasvate Deve Gauravane Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. So, my dear ladies and gentlemen, I feel most honored and happy to be with all of you here tonight. This is a very auspicious gathering. I've been told tonight I'm speaking the secret of inner peace beyond pills and therapy. So the question would be, why do we want inner peace? Is there any reason that we want inner peace? Why not inner chaos? Why do we choose chaos over peace? Well, the reason, just as a fish likes to be in the water, we living entities prefer peace over chaos because that is our actual nature. So the process of spiritual awakening, self-realization means getting back to who we really are. You see. So the difficulty in our modern day civilization is we are disconnected from our actual selves. We're lacking self-realization. We're in a state of self-deprivation. We've forgotten who we actually are. And therefore, we're in a very, very chaotic situation, like a fish dragged out of the water and put on the land, you see. So the bona fide spiritual master teaches us the art of how to get back to who we actually are, you see. There are many, many gurus out there. I encountered them also. They charge some fee. Give me your fee, and I will give you enlightenment. Stay away from these charlatans. They are cheating you. They are robbing you. Some others say, I'm God, you're God, we're all God. If I'm God, why am I in a state of confusion? Doesn't make sense that I'm God. God can never be covered by ignorance or confusion. So we have to find the bona fide spiritual master. I was very fortunate after many years of searching, sincerely seeking, after being burned by many false gurus, so-called gurus. I still had faith there's some way out of here. all the way to attain it did not become clear. Until one evening, in a wonderful sublime evening in December of 1968 in Denver, Colorado, USA, a friend said, chant this, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. That was the turning point, you see. That was the turning point. So I was a young college student. You're supposed, in America, you make good grades, you go to a good school, you get a good degree, a good job, a good house in suburbia, a two-car garage, the whole American dream, right? But for me, it was an American nightmare because I was thinking, here I am working hard to get good grades, to get a good house, a good wife, some good kids, a good retirement, and a very nice grave. I'm sorry, that's not enough. I want to work hard to get a nice tombstone, a very first-class tombstone. No, there has to be something more than this. There has to be. But nobody could tell me until I found the bona fide spiritual master. My spiritual master, His Divine Grace Om Vishnu Pad Paramahamsa Parivajakacharnja Hastatadasadashi Shemad A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada, the greatest ambassador of the great acharyas of India in the modern world. He taught me that I'm not my body. I'm not male. I'm not female. I'm not American. I'm not even an earth being. He taught me I'm actually a spiritual being, qualitatively one with God. So what are the qualities of God? The other day we visited the Adi Keshava temple, a wonderful historic temple. In that temple in the year 1510 AD, a great personality who was actually an incarnation of God himself, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he discovered an ancient text written by Brahmaji, the supreme Lord of this particular universe. And in that wonderful 5th chapter of that text, the Brahma Samhita, the first verse goes like this: Ishvaraha Paramaha Krishnaha Satchidananda Vigraha Anadiradir Govinda Sarvakarana Karanam. Krishna is the supreme controller, Ishvara Parama. Satchidananda Vigraha, he has an eternal form full of bliss and knowledge. So the Supreme Person, the source of all existence, doesn't have a temporary body full of ignorance and misery. He has an eternal form full of bliss and knowledge. And we being part of him, you see. Just like there's the entire ocean, there's the drop of the ocean water, you see. So we're tiny drops of that Supreme Person. We're his emanated energy. Krishna says in Gita, Aham sarvasya prabhava matak sarvam pravartate. I am the source of all material and spiritual worlds. Everything emanates from me. So, just like the sun is emitting so many rays of sunshine, that Supreme Person is emanating us. Did you know that you're an emanation of the Supreme? You don't exist because your mom and dad want to have a baby. That may talk about your body, but it doesn't talk about you, the spiritual being who's seated within the body. You did not come into existence when mom and dad want to have a kid. That's not how you came into existence. You're an eternal spiritual being, qualitatively one with the Lord. So the qualities of the Lord, according to Brahmaji, he's eternal, he's full of bliss, and he's full of knowledge. So, my dear listeners, that is your actual qualities. Each one of you is an eternal being. Your actual nature is full of bliss and full of knowledge. But our modern day society, which is so much misguided by materialistic propagandists, forces you into thinking, I'm temporary, and that makes me full of ignorance and full of misery. In other words, if you identify with your material body, you're going to be miserable, actually. You may, of course, no one wants to admit they're miserable. We ask people, how are you doing? Fine. How are you doing? Fine. That's what you have to say to keep a face. Fine, fine, fine. I feel like hell, but I say fine, isn't it? I remember when I was a young college student at the University of Texas in Austin, Texas. One day in the hall, one of the students said, how are you doing? I said, I'm depressed. They said, don't say that. You can't say you're depressed. You can't admit you're unhappy because it's not proper to be unhappy. You have to be proper. You must be, oh, I'm happy. You see, faking it. I'm not really making it. I'm faking it. That's our position in the material world. We're not really making it. We're faking it. So why fake it? When your actual nature is to be eternal, full of knowledge and bliss, why you should pretend you're happy when you're suffering like hell? Does that make sense? I mean, why? Here you are, the son of the greatest, the son of the greater daughter of the greatest, all-powerful, all-wealthy, all-famous, all-knowledgeable personality, the supreme personality of Godhead. Why you should be in a state of misery? It doesn't make sense. It's simply because of ignorance. Therefore, the bona fide spiritual mastery comes to enlighten us with transcendental knowledge. You see? Divya Gyan. There's materialistic Gyan, which is actually ignorance in the name of knowledge. It's ignorance disguised as knowledge, but actually it's ignorance. We need Divya Gyan, transcendental knowledge from the lips of the bona fide spiritual master. If you will hear submissively from the bona fide spiritual master, those words will penetrate into the innermost core of your being and drive away all delusion. You see. Right now, we have that knowledge within us. Just like the sun is actually there on a cloudy day, isn't it? But you can't see it because you're covered by the clouds. So when those clouds are dissipated, then the sun becomes visible. So you have that unlimited and perfect knowledge within your heart. Right? Every one of you has that unlimited perfect knowledge within you right now. You see? By the clouds of illusion from materialistic civilization, which has bombarded you with ignorance ever since you're a little kid. You see? What do you first hear? Oh, it's a boy, it's a girl. But actually, you're not that male or female body. But you're bombarded with ignorance. Oh, be a good little boy, be a good little girl. We were bombarded. Our parents didn't know better because they were also bewildered by their parents, who bewildered by their parents, who bewildered by their parents, back, many generations of bewilderment, you see. We don't blame them. They're innocent victims of a society of ignorance. But the spiritual master creates, by his transcendental sound vibrations from his mouth, he creates a society based on knowledge. The spiritual master actually a revolutionary to turn the world civilization, which is not upside down, to turn it right side up. You see. So we're hoping today that each and every one of you can become a spiritually enlightened being by taking these words deep into your heart. You see. That you will no longer remain a slave of materialistic society. Become an actual leader. So when you enlighten the self within, you become an actual leader. You're no longer a follower, a blind follower of a materialistic society. You become an actual leader, you see, of the world civilization by becoming an enlightened being. And then by your light, you can actually bring light to that dark world all around you, you see. So come out of the darkness, become enlightened, and now by your enlightenment, you can enlighten the whole world. You see. So this title is very nice, The Secret of Inner Peace. Why do we say secret? Because it's not known. That Krishna says in Gita, Raja Vidya Raja Goyam Pravitna Vidabhuttamam. This is the topmost of all secrets, this is the king of education and the topmost of all secrets. Is that contradictory? The topmost knowledge is the most secret of all secrets. That's how aware our society is, you see. The topmost knowledge is the topmost secret also. So the spiritual master brings the actual knowledge to you. He kindly comes without charging you a penny. He kindly comes to you and bless you with transcendental knowledge. So my dear listeners, don't take this one ear and out the other ear, you see. Take this knowledge into your heart. deep, deep, deep into your heart. So all the ignorance and confusion that we've been experiencing in profusion can be driven away by the torchlight of transcendental knowledge. It says beyond pills and therapy. You see. Think, well, I have to go to a psychiatrist. I'm depressed. I have to go to a psychiatrist or a psychologist. The difficulty is the psychologist and the psychiatrist is just as bewildered as you are. They're simply making some money saying, I'm a PhD and you come to me and I'll solve it. But he also is in problems himself. That person who's an illusion cannot free of an illusion. The real psychologist, the real psychiatrist is the bona fide spiritual master. And he doesn't charge you anything. This is his gift of love. I went to a bogus guru, he charged me $30. In those days, that was a lot of money. That was my rent for 1 month. 1 month's rent I paid to get my secret mantra. He said, you can't tell anybody. You have to pay me $30 and get your secret mantra. So I tried the mantra, didn't work. He gave me, ang, 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 ang. So I was chanting, ang, like an airplane on the runway trying to take off. Ang, ang, no liftoff, you see. I can go on anging forever, no liftoff, you see. But the bona fide spiritual master gave me Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare, flying high in the spiritual sky. So you can know the bona fide, you can know the spiritual master is bona fide. What do they say in Sanskrit? Palena parichyate. You can judge by the result, you see. So by hearing from the bona fide spiritual master, you feel yourself being enlightened with transcendental knowledge. Then you know you get the proper spiritual master, you see. And another way of checking is by hearing what he's saying. Is he inventing something new? The bona fide spiritual master does not invent some new teaching. The teaching is originally given by Krishna, you see, to the sun god Vivishwan, you see. So the bona fide spiritual master, he gives the knowledge which is which is there in the Vedic scriptures. And the most simple form is called Bhagavad Gita. So the Bhagavad Gita, everything is revealed in the Bhagavad Gita. If you read Bhagavad Gita, the song of God, you read it carefully and you follow its instructions, you get the result. So I remember after I got the Hare Krishna mantra from my friend, I was really enlivened by this. So I wanted to get into it more. I got a Bhagavad Gita from the library, and Krishna says, if you offer me with love and devotion, a leaf, a flower, fruit, or water, I will accept it. But wow, God will accept something from me? I grew up as a Christian. We had this idea that God is some old man on a big mountaintop with a big long beard, you know. And not that you can have some personal interaction with him. He's too far away, very distant. But from the Gita, you're Indian people. You have the Gita, you see. In the Gita, Krishna says, if you offer me with love and devotion, a leaf, a flower, fruit, or water, I've accepted. So even a poor man, he grab a leaf off a tree. You don't have to be a rich man. Even a poor beggar in the street can offer a leaf, flower, fruit, or water to Krishna. So I did that. I got a picture of Radha Govinda. I was offering my vegetarian food to them, and wow, it opened up a whole new world for me. Wow, I can have an intimate, loving relationship with God himself. He'll actually accept something from little old me. Wow, this is amazing stuff here. So I'm a college kid. What's my career going to be? Well, you can be a doctor, a lawyer, an engineer. My career has been go to India, become a sadhu in India. That was my career choice. But on the way to India, I wanted to reject everything material. Reject, deny, 18, deny everything material. But on the way to India, I realized, oh, wait a minute. My philosophy is deny everything. But I realized denial is also something. So I decided to deny denial also and accept something transcendental. So Krishna within my heart guided me. He said, okay, your duty now is to live with the world, you see. Don't deny the world. You stay in the world and deliver the world from ignorance. So that desire to live in the world brought me eventually, and then become fully surrendered to the will of God. That brought me to the lotus feet of my spiritual master in 1971. So I really hope that these words that I'm giving to you, I'm not making anything up, I'm repeating to you what I have heard from my spiritual master. You see, that's all I'm doing. You see. So repeating to you what I've heard from my spiritual master, Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. It's an interesting story, actually. In India at that time, everybody's looking westernization, ki jai. You see. And nobody's interested in Krishna Bhakti. That's some old-fashioned thing from our, that's some of our old-fashioned days. They were into Krishna Bhakti. We don't need Krishna Bhakti. So Prabhupada came to America and introduced Krishna Bhakti to the hippies. And then, this is wonderful. The hippies had rejected the culture that our parents are into war and big, technology and war and, and the hippies said, no, our parents aren't doing the right thing. This materialistic advancement is not really where it's at. And they found this Indian Swami who was teaching Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. And he wasn't making anything up also. He was simply repeating what he'd heard from his spiritual master, who heard repeated what he heard with his verse and spiritual, back, in ancient tradition. And they went, this Swamiji is amazing. He's not inventing something new. He's simply getting and repeating what he heard from the previous acharyas. So this is a real spiritual master. So many thousands of hippies joined Prabhupada. And then he thought, well, let me break these American Hare Krishna chanters to India, see what the Indians think. And the Indian went, wow, the Westerners are doing this? The Westerners are chanting, oh, it must be good. If the Westerners are doing it, it must be okay. So in this way, the Prabhupada brought a spiritual revolution in India. Now ISKCON is very big. Now very big in India. So many thousands, millions of followers all over India, you see, and all over the world, you see. It's all because one person wanted to present the truth as it is. You've seen our Bhagavad Gita as it is. You see. In those days, there was one popular edition called by Dr. Radhakrishnan. I don't know if it even he reads that one anymore, but that was the edition of Bhagavad Gita back in the 60s. Dr. Radhakrishnan's Bhagavad Gita. Now, Dr. Radhakrishnan, he said, it is not to the person Krishna that we should surrender, but to the unborn, the unmanifest that's been everybody. In other words, he denied the person Krishna. You see. That Krishna is not really just some myth. Krishna is not really a person. So just see, here Krishna is the speaker of Bhagavad Gita, and he says there's no person Krishna. You see how much it was distorted in that. But Prabhupada came at Bhagavad Gita as it is. Yes, there's a person Krishna. He's the source of all existence. He's within your heart. He's within every atom. And you just have to give your life to him, surrender to him, and you enter in the most sublime, peaceful dimension called Krishna consciousness. You see. So Krishna consciousness is real. You see. The secret of inner peace is to awaken your Krishna consciousness. You are actually a spiritual being, qualitatively one with God, as I mentioned earlier in the lecture. You are not that body. You're a spiritual being. My ladies and gentlemen, I will now inform you, you are not of this material world. Each one of you is a spiritual being. You're living in the supreme dimension called the spiritual world, Paravyoma, the spiritual sky. You're originally living there as a servant of the supreme being, Krishna. Some call him Ram, call him Jehovah, Allah. He has unlimited names. We're not preaching Hindu religion here. We're talking about the science of God. I'm a Christian by birth. This is the perfection of my Christianity. A Muslim can become the perfect Muslim, Hindu the perfect Hindu. Everyone can become the perfect, whatever religion they were born with, but they accepted. They don't have to give that up. They can now become perfect in it, you see. Krishna consciousness is the perfection of Islam, the perfection of Judaism, Christianity, Buddhism, etc., Jainism, Sikhism. This is the perfection of all religious paths, you see. So we are originally there with the Supreme Person in His transcendental abode in the spiritual world. Now, then why did we leave? You could ask. I mean, why would I come here and have to worry about paying my rent? You see. Well, I'll tell you why. You see. Can love be forced? I put a gun in you, love me or I'll blow your brains up. You cannot force love. Love must be voluntary. You understand? You understand? Love must be voluntary. If there's force, what's it called? Rape. You can't love under force. You have to love voluntarily, you see. So that Supreme Person wants our love. That Supreme Person is manifesting us from Himself for the purpose of enjoying an unlimited variety of loving relationships with each and every one of us, you see. So that means you have the free will to choose love or leave. I can love Krishna or I can leave Krishna. So how many people would leave? Well, it's mathematically possible you could leave. What is the mathematical probability that somebody want to leave the spiritual world of eternity, knowledge, and bliss and come to this world of ignorance and misery? Well, the odds are very infinitesimal. But when you apply that to the infinite number of living entities in the spiritual world, you get a substantial number. So we are some of that infinitesimal fraction of a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of living entities who wanted to try using our free will to see what it's like on the other side. You see, there's an old saying, the grass is greener on the other side of the fence. You ever seen a cow sticking the head through the fence to check out the grass on the other side? You see? So we wanted to stick our head through the fence and see what it's like on the other side. You see, we were curious. There's an old saying in English, curiosity killed the cat. So we were curious what would it be like if I thought I was God. You see? Here I'm serving God in the spiritual world. What if I went to a world where I could think that I'm God? What would it be like? So we decided to check it out of curiosity, and here we are, trying to be God. Even the dog thinks he's God. Woof, 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 what are you doing on my street? Everyone thinks they're God. They think I'm the center of all existence, you see. So Krishna is very kind. We made the stupid mistake, but now he's inviting us back. The spiritual master comes as the representative of God to invite us back. Why are you suffering here in the cycle of birth and death, my dear ladies and gentlemen? Why are you suffering here needlessly in this position? You see, getting a body, identifying as your body, male, female body, getting sick and old and dying, lifetime after lifetime after lifetime, even going to the aquatics, the birds, the insects, the plants, the beasts. Why are you going through these 8,400,000 species again and again and again and again through the cycle of birth and death? You see? Why not come back to your original identity as an eternal spiritual being full of knowledge and bliss? Why not come back? You see? So that's why the spiritual master comes. He comes to enlighten us, to liberate us from our ignorance and confusion, so we can actually be happy again. The actual position of life is to become ever increasingly happy at every minute. Is anybody here for ever increasingly happy at every minute? No. But real consciousness means that we feel ever increasingly happy minute after minute after minute, where every day is the most exciting adventure. Another day, another adventure. But we don't feel that way. It's up and down, up and down. Let's face the facts. Sukha, dukkha, sukha, dukkha, sukha, dukkha. You see, that's our position. Why? Because we're in a state of ignorance. Real consciousness means ever-increasing bliss, not up and down, up and down, up and down. So there's no reason to go on in this consciousness, you see. There's no reason to continue suffering like this. All we have to do is take help of the bona fide spiritual master, take help of this amazing mantra. So why are we so much in the Hare Krishna? You know, why are we so much in the Hare Krishna? One could ask. Well, this mantra is given in the scriptures, in the Kali Santarana Upanishad. It's not some new invention. This is an ancient mantra from the scriptures, the Vedic scriptures. And an amazing thing is God himself, Krishna, decided to come in the form of his own devotee a mere 500 years ago here in India. Do you know that God reincarnated as his own devotee 500 years ago in India as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? He came to teach us how to be a devotee. And what did he do? He was chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, and dancing in ecstasy. He even came here to this area. He went to the Padmanabha temple. He went to the Adhikeshava temple. He was actually here in your own area. He came here to your area. His own lotus feet were blessing your area just a few centuries ago, you see. You're very fortunate that Lord Chaitanya himself came here to your Padmanabha temple and to your Vishnu Adhikeshava temple. He was actually here. So you're very blessed. Actually, many of the great Vaishnavacharyas are from South India. Many of the greatest acharyas in the history of the universe were from your area. So you should all become great Vaishnavacharyas, following the footsteps of your predecessors. You should all become great Vaishnavacharyas, you see. That's our challenge to you. Each and every one of you should become a great Vaishnavacharya, who's an enlightened being, who can enlighten the whole world, you see. That's our challenge to you, you see. So anyway, this Hare Krishna is called Shabda Brahma, transcendental sound vibration. In other words, God himself, Krishna himself, appears in the form of his holy name. In other words, you can have an incarnation of God appearing right there in your own house. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. An incarnation of God appearing right there in your house every day. When you get up in the morning, God himself will come to your house and bless your house. You see, he'll bless your heart, he'll bless your wife, your kids, your grandparents, whoever is there, even the dog. Everyone, even the insects crawling around your bedroom, they all become blessed by Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So I'm begging each one of you to take up, because a Muslim can chant Allah Akbar if they want. That's all right. God is also there. But especially this mantra is the most powerful manifestation. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. This is the secret of how to unlock inner peace. Chant these names of God. So you don't need pills, you don't need therapy. Or you can say, this is the ultimate pill. Hare Krishna is the ultimate pill. This is the pill that gives unlimited thrills. You see. So take this pill, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Now, I love questions, by the way. In fact, yeah, even challenges are welcome. Okay. Because if any confusion you have, any doubts you have, we're opening up now for discussion. Myself and my Guru Manaji, my beloved wife, is also here. She has great realizations and she can share also. So any questions, you can write them on a paper. You have the paper and the pen, or you can raise your hand. If you want to challenge, I think it's a bunch of nonsense how you can say such things. Everything's welcome. Everything's on the table here today. Put it all out. Now, don't be shy. Don't be shy. Everyone, you're intelligent people. I understand you're leaders in the society. So don't be shy. Let's get it together and discuss these things and iron out all the wrinkles. Okay? Let's iron out all the wrinkles and get it all clear what's going on here.
If you have questions, please write in the chit paper. We will hand over to Gurudev.
One question is coming, all right? All right. How can an individual, nice clear handwriting, thank you. How can an individual cope with feelings of guilt and rebuild their life after a relationship ends, especially when the guilt is not based on real wrongdoing? Well, why is guilt there, you see? When you do something wrong, you feel bad. I'm guilty of doing the wrong thing. Or in this case, when it's not based on a real, why should we feel guilty if we didn't really do something wrong? You see? The relationship, I had a nice relationship, but it ended, I feel bad about them. Actually, I just attended a marriage ceremony today. They asked me to give some speech. My disciple's daughter was getting married. It was very nice. About 500 people came. It was a big, big celebration. And I was very happy to speak some words of wisdom there to guide the new couple of how they can have a perfect marriage and never breaks, you see. So if our relationship is based on, please me, like that old Beatles song, please me, please me, please me. You see, as long as you base your relationship on what pleases you, and she's saying what pleases me, there's bound to be a break, you see. Because if it's called, if there's two separate circles, they clash with each other, you see. You have to have, if there's two different centers, those two circles will clash each other eventually, you see. But if you have the common center, you see, then there's perfect harmony. So our relationships break because we don't have the common center. So I told this newly married couple, you don't base your relationship on what you want. The husband thinks, well, it should be the way I want it. The wife thinks, no, it should be I want it. No, your relationships, base your relationship on what pleases Krishna or God, you see. It's called God-centered conception. If you put God in the center of all relationships, your husband and wife, your parents and your kids, or whatever, you and your next door neighbors, or even the government here, you see. If you make it a God-centered situation, it becomes perfect without any conflicts. You see. So all the problems in the world are due, they're not putting God in the center. They form the United Nations. How many wars have happened since the United Nations? I mean, I can't even count how many wars have happened since the United Nations was formed. So what's the use of the United Nations? It's a disunited, they shouldn't call it the U, and they should call it DUN, the disunited nations, you see. If you put God in the center, but they don't do that. They're misguided leaders. They're not proper leaders. A leader who takes a leadership position but doesn't know how to lead, he's actually a cheater. You see, the leader has to know how to put God in the center, and then you have a peaceful situation, or a husband and wife, community, nation, whatever. If you put God in the center, that relationship becomes perfect. So in our Krishna Consciousness movement, we're trying to teach you how to put God in the center of all your relationships. Does that make sense to you or not? Or it sounds kind of weird. Sounds like some kooky, weird philosophy. This is real practical stuff here. I want you to understand this is not some flowery language meant to razzle-dazzle your brains. This is actual realized knowledge meant to bring you out of ignorance. Come on. Okay. Why did the all-perfect God in a state of eternal bliss decide to manifest the lower forms of life? Well, Krishna is the supreme enjoyer, you see. And he has wonderful loving relationships with his pure devotees in the spiritual realm. God likes to enjoy unlimitedly. I'll give you a mundane example or a transcendental example. When I was a young brahmachari monk, I was living in a temple in Gainesville, Florida. And we call it prasadam, vegetarian food offered to Krishna with love and devotion. We had the best prasadam in all of ISKCON. There was nobody who could compete. They used to call it Gainesville because the prasadam was so first class. I mean, really first class. So we had our Janmashtami feast, and there were 108 preps. And talking about, wow, fasting all the way to midnight. We were all young men, and we could eat a lot in those days. Not an old man like me, where I can't eat so much anymore. We were young men, and we believed in that 108 preps with great enthusiasm. Wow, 108 preparations, ki jai. So the point is, variety is the mother of enjoyment. The more you have variety, the more you enjoy. You see. So the same principle exists with God himself. The more he has variety, the more he enjoys. So Krishna wants to enjoy an unlimited variety of loving relationships. Therefore, he manifests from himself on an infinite number of living beings, with each of whom has their own unique qualities. So in other words, you are not a carbon copy. Each one of you is not a carbon copy of somebody else. You are an individual, unique person with your own unique characteristics. So Krishna is manifesting you from himself to enjoy a particular unique relationship that nobody else can give him. Nobody else. You can give a certain relationship to God that nobody else in all of existence can give him, you see. So for unlimited enjoyment, Krishna expands an unlimited varieties of living entities. So that's his perfection. If we had 108 preps, Krishna has millions and millions and quadrillions and septillions of individual living entities for personal relationships. Okay. Who has the power? Gurus blindly. We have to follow gurus blindly or not? Definitely not. One should not follow the guru blindly. Following the guru blindly, that's called fanaticism. We don't need fanatics here. Fanaticism is taboo. Fanaticism is forbidden. Therefore, one should inquire, what does the Creator say? Tadvade pradipratena padiprasnena sevaya upadekshtatita jnanam jnanina tattvadarshinaha. One should approach the spiritual master, inquire of him submissively, and render service unto him. The self-realized souls can impart knowledge unto you because they have seen the truth. So inquiry is, you have to be inquiring. You put all your doubts on my dear Guru Maharaj, I have this doubt, this doubt, this doubt, this doubt. Put all your doubts on the table. My spiritual master is very kind to me. He let me, even though he was a different part of the world, I wrote him letter after letter, and he answered every letter I wrote him. Every letter he wrote and answered all my questions. So we encourage questions. If there's something that doesn't make sense to you, please inquire, because this knowledge is not based on fanaticism. It's based on logic, argument, and revealed scriptures, backed up by firm faith, you see. If you have the spiritual master gives you logical explanations for everything based on the scripture, and by hearing logical explanations based on scriptures, which also are supported by logic and argument, then you develop shraddha, dridha shraddha, firm faith, you see. So that's your chance, ladies and gentlemen. In fact, I have an e-course that you go to joincourse.com, www.joincourse.com, and you can ask me unlimited questions. I will answer all your questions, personally answer them with loving feeling also, not just like a machine. It's not AI. You won't get any AI answers from me, you see. You get TI, transcendental intelligence, not artificial intelligence. So we are not here to be as AI robots. I'm here. I'm a living personality. I've realized God, and I can train you how to realize God. So your questions are welcome. Why do you accept Lord Chaitanya as God? Well, he's predicted in the scriptures. He's predicted in the scriptures, and he revealed him. He did things that nobody could do except God himself. There's so many miracles. Nobody could do what Lord Chaitanya did. Anything else? Okay. All right. All right. Social media and news are full of Maya. Oh, yeah. So much lies out there. But we are having to interact with social media as part of work. Actually, there was just a movement started. It just happened. It just started a few days ago in New York City. It started in the very same place where Prabhupada launched the Hare Krishna movement in Tompkins Square Park. It's an anti-social media movement. The same exact place where Prabhupada started this movement was the first public kirtan. They went to the same exact place to start an anti-social media movement. I got an email inviting me to join. I told them I wish them all well because it's the same place where the Hare Krishna movement started. So the social media is razzle-dazzling everyone, especially the kids. They're going wild on it, you see. We don't need social media. We have Krishna media. But we can use social media for preaching, but we're not slaves of social media because it's all just, it's full of lies. Let's face the facts. Exaggeration and lies. We have to, media is a part of work, and for news, how to save our self from Maya. Now, there's nothing wrong with checking out the news, but we shouldn't. But the real thing is the news from Krishna. You see, it's not bad to know that there's a war happening right now, and I need to wear a bulletproof vest today when I go to work. It's good to know what's happening in them, what's happening around us, so we can check out the news. There's no prohibition against the news. But at the same time, we should understand the real news is coming from Krishna, and that should be our focus. How can we remain stable in Krishna consciousness? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Begin every day with chanting Hare Krishna. Make that the foundation of your day. Tune in, turn on, and bliss out. Tune in to Krishna every day, and your whole day will be sublime and wonderful, guaranteed. Okay. Let's see. Often, after how much spiritual practice can we realize God? Actually, you can realize God immediately. Why wait? It's called instant nirvana. You can realize God immediately. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So this beginning, you're 1% realized, and go to 2% realized. In that way, you can be self-realized right now, tonight, ladies and gentlemen, simply by taking these words into your heart. You see, the words from the lotus mouth of the spiritual master, they drive the ignorance away and plant the seed of love of God within your heart. So you can become self-realized right now, 1% and 2%. The more you go on hearing, it goes 1%, 2%, 3%, 4%, 10%, 20%, like that. Okay. How to bring self-realization for something. I can't make out the word. How to something self-realization for the self and society in general. Well, the more that you are convinced of the absolute truth, conviction is a contagious disease, actually. Because I've convinced many people. My Guru Maharaji and I, because we're convinced, we've convinced so many people all over the world, 20,000 people signed up for my course, for example. So when you're convinced, naturally, others can be convinced as well, Because I'm convinced, I'm sure that some of you can become more convinced after hearing this talk. I know it, in fact. Some of you will, and some of you won't. Some will, some won't, so what? But I know at least one of you has become more convinced by hearing this talk tonight. If there'd be 2 or 3 or 20 or 40, the more the better, But I know that what I'm saying, because I'm convinced that Krishna is God and we're all his eternal servants, and if some of you become convinced. So conviction is the key. How to react to how to reach the Lord of the Gita. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. We have our temple here. What's it called? We have our temple. You can come there, and Krishna is a form in the deity form. You can bow down to him. You can take your darshan of his beautiful form. Not that. It looks like a marble statue to the atheist. But actually, Krishna is fully appeared in the form of that deity. His full divine potency is manifested. Krishna has the power to appear in the form of a marble statue if he chooses to do so. And Krishna has actually appeared. You can come have the darshan of Krishna, bow down to Krishna, sing and dance for the pleasure of Krishna, and wow, you're going to really taste something. You're going to taste something really sublime. Anything else? Okay. All right. What is the meaning of Sankarshan, my name, Sankarshan Das? Well, it's a name for actually Balaram is also called Sankarshan. But Sankarshan also means all attractive. So it's a nice name. I was named Sankarshan Das by Prabhupada. Okay, spiritual journey, does it mean only the travel towards Krishna consciousness and for our self-realization? How can we help the community in this journey and become a value add in their life? Well, the more that you become awakened, the more you can awaken others, as I just mentioned previously a few minutes ago. So simple thing. You become more awakened, you'll have have an uplifting impact on the whole world around you naturally. It is recommended to chant Hare Krishna mantra for relieving material miseries, as an offering for others, etc. Actually, by chanting Hare Krishna, you're begging one who can chant Hare Krishna in the mood, my dear Lord Krishna, please bless me. I can chant so purely that now I can have an impact on the entire material existence to inspire everyone to come to your lotus feet. You can chant in the mood of liberating yourself, in the mood of liberating all others as well. Is pursuit of knowledge and science in pursuit of God? No, the scientists want to kill God. The material scientists want to say God is not necessary. Now we've given you this, we've given you that, and just wait, my dear people. Keep sending us your money, and we'll give you immortality. The rascal himself is getting old, sick, and dying. Give me more money, and I will give you immortality. The scientists are promoting is immortality. They're cheaters and rascals. Probably say kick in the face with boot. These are rascals, these so-called scientists. Unless you're Krishna conscious, and you can use science in the service of the Lord. In hyper-connected society, especially in India, in Indian context, where we feel collectivism above individualism, our outer world bounds to affect us internally. How to separate ourselves from our misery, which often shakes the inner peace. Well, there's a natural collectivism in every part of the world, you see. There's I'm from the state of Texas, and they have a saying in Texas, I'm Texan and I'm proud. You see. This collectivism is going on in India, every part of the world. I'm Russian, I'm Chinese, and I'm proud. This collectivism is going on everywhere, you see. But it's based on false identification with the body. If you want true collectivism, I'm the eternal servant of Krishna. Now you've actually you engage in collectivism of all living entities, you see. So perfect your collectivism by realizing Jivara Srupa Hai Krishna Nichadas. The constitutional position of living entity is the eternal servant of Krishna. And that will separate you from misery. Okay. How to do seva in a right consciousness, not in a way of passion or ignorance. The bona fide spiritual master teaches you, and the Bhagavad Gita teaches you. We have Bhagavad Gita as it is. The most powerful spiritual master in history is Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami. You read his books, and you will get perfect knowledge of how to do seva in the right mood. See, the difficulty is now they want to approach God for their own desires. It's like that. There's that old, know that song? Yeah. Give me a Cadillac, a brand new Cadillac, replete with Michelin tires. Give my wife a new silk sari. Give my kids a Harvard education. Give me a house by the sea. Om Jayadayadi Shari. You see? That's not the way to do. That's not the way to approach God. Give me, give me, give me. My dear Lord, I come to the temple today with my shopping list. No, that's not bhakti. That's lust. You may get your house by the sea. It's like yesterday there were so many houses by the sea. We went to that village. There's so many houses by the sea. We saw so many houses by the sea. You may get your house by the sea, but you won't get eternity. You see, you get old, sick, and die in your house by the sea. But if you give yourself to God, my dear Lord, I now surrender unto you. You are my Lord and Master. I give myself to you. Then you achieve unlimited mercy, unlimited bliss. You see. So you do service in the mood of not what you can get from Krishna. How much can I give you? How much can I give you? Please bless me. I can give you more and more until I can totally give myself to you in completeness. That's how you achieve unlimited happiness, unlimited bliss. As a teenager, I'm really struggling to cope with everything, really having material thoughts everywhere, how to stay Krishna conscious every time. Yeah. The poor teenagers now, they're being bothered. See, it's getting worse. Getting worse and worse, you see. All the society is going down, you see. Formerly, the teenagers were very nicely guided by their parents. They were pure, they were chaste. Now the teenagers are having sex outside of marriage, you see. It's becoming a nightmare. The Americans did it. Now the Indians are following. They're also having illicit sex outside of marriage. So many girls are writing me how they've been polluted. They write me as disciples. I'm their spiritual guide. Gurudev, I feel so bad. I had so much sex, not even married. I had so much sex with these men. And that's a problem now. The girls of India, they lost their chastity. I'm seeing that. It's very sad. India, formerly, the girls, even 50 years ago, the girls are very, very chaste. Now they follow the new standard of the illicit sex even before marriage, you see. So what to do in this situation was becoming more and more and more degraded. That's why we have invited all the teenagers come to our temple, learn how to do Krishna Bhakti, get the Japamala, chant, enter into the spiritual dimension of Krishna consciousness, you see. And then if you see everything in relationship with Krishna, then you won't be disturbed anymore, you see. And you understand, instead of acting for my own pleasures, let me act to please Krishna, and then I become peaceful. As long as we try to enjoy separately from Krishna, we'll be agitated and disturbed. When you start to do everything for the pleasure of Krishna, then you become very happy. Trust me, this works. Just try for one day. Make an experiment. For one day, let me do everything for Krishna's pleasure. Let my every thought be for his pleasure, my every word, my every deed. For one day, let me try to do everything for Krishna's pleasure, and I guarantee it'll be the most blissful day of your whole life. Just try it for one day. If you don't believe me, try it. I challenge you to try giving one whole day to Krishna. Wake up in the morning, chant Hare Krishna, read some Bhagavad Gita verses, and say, let me do everything for Krishna's pleasure today. Only eat food offered to Krishna, no meat, fish, or eggs. Just try one day, and you'll be the most ecstatic day of your life. So this is pretty good. Let me do it tomorrow too. It'll be better and better day after day. Pretty soon, I want to give myself totally to Krishna. You'll be so enlivened by that. Okay. Anything else? Okay.
Hindi translation.
Oh, Hindi bolo nahi. Now we'll do English. Okay. In the world, for the world, Krishna, let's see. For the world, Krishna has three types of Vishnu arti. What are these? There are three types of Vishnu. What is the word? Vishnu what?
Three types of Vishnu.
What?
What are the three types of Vishnu?
Three types of Vishnu?
That might.
Yeah, there's Rabadakana Vishnu, Mahavishnu.
Sir, chapter 7, Shaloka 4. Here, three types of Vishnus are described.
There's different. There's the Vishnu, Mahavishnu, Garbhodakana Vishnu, and there's
Yes,
the
yes.
Paramatma. Also, there's different Vishnus.
What three?
They are all
Vishnus
expansions
are
of Krishna. All they're actually unlimited Vishnus. Actually, in the spiritual world, there's unlimited Vaikuntha planets, and there's an incarnation of. Actually, there's an infinite number of Vishnus. And Krishna is the original form. They're all emanation from Krishna. If you surrender to Krishna, you automatically please all the Vishnus. You have Vishnu in your heart also, Paramatma. You have a forearm form of the Lord in your heart also, Paramatma. When you give yourself to Krishna, then all the Vishnus are very pleased with you. They all shower their mercy upon you. That makes sense? Yes? Okay. All right. Anything else?
Bhagavad Gita was written between 400 BC and 200 CE in Sanskrit language. That time written in all the shlokas was written in Sanskrit language.
Yeah, Krishna spoke in Sanskrit, yes.
People have forgotten.
Paka Sanskrit.
As the time passed, people have forgotten the importance of Sanskrit. That time, the writer was knows that a time will come when people forget the importance of Sanskrit. So, to make the life easier, he just created one mantras. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. To make the easy life of everyone. So, yet people are not following it, but the Sanskrit importance have forgotten. Only one mantra is concluded to make the easier life. So what we can do to make our easy life and follow the instructions whatever given in the Bhagavad Gita.
If you chant Hare Krishna, you can understand Bhagavad Gita. Just like I've been chanting Hare Krishna for 54 years now. The Bhagavad Gita is very clear to me. So the original Sanskrit has been translated very nicely into English by Prabhupada, and now his disciples have translated every single language in the world. We have Bhagavad Gita in hundreds of languages now. So if the language, over time, the language do evolve, it can be also, devotees of Krishna can also, let's say 1,000 years from now, the languages will be different. But the original Sanskrit will always be there. And Prabhupada's translations in English for the word-for-word meanings, it will always be there. And scholars can then put it in versions according to the language that becomes printed at that time. It's like English is there was originally Sanskrit, and then Greek and Latin came out, and then English. So there's all these languages that are constantly evolving. Language is a fluid thing. Just like every day new words appear in the English language. And old words go away, and new words come in. Language is a constant flux, but Sanskrit does not change. You see, Sanskrit remains eternally. The letters are called Devanagari, which means the cities of the gods. The higher planets, Sanskrit is still going on nicely. So, if one follows the bona fide spiritual master, he can understand the whatever language it's given in, you can understand clearly. And by chanting the mantra, when we give our classes, we always chant the Sanskrit mantra first. See, we always chant the Sanskrit mantra, and the spiritual master gives us a translation according to a particular language, whether it's Urdu or whatever, Malayalam or whatever it is. Okay, that help a little bit? Want to add some points, Guru Maharaji? All right, let's hear from Guru Maharaji. He's full of wisdom.
Knowledge is not that important. Develop a loving relationship is important. Even if you have all the knowledge of all the Vedic literature, but if you had no love for Krishna, the Supreme, it's useless, waste of time.
Hare Krishna, this is your opportunity to ask questions. We have given you chit papers. You can write questions. We will pass to Gurudev. Otherwise, you can hear the books and write questions. Or even if you want to verbally ask, you can do.
Well, if there's more questions, I can leave.
ചോദ്യങ്ങളുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ ചോദിക്കാം. മലയാളത്തിലും ചോദിക്കാം, ഇംഗ്ലീഷിൽ ട്രാൻസ്ലേറ്റ് ചെയ്യാം.
We're going to Vrindavan. We have to pack up and leave for Vrindavan early tomorrow morning. Okay. Question of the internet. Okay. If any devotee who has strong material desires which are not removed easily from his mind, then what should he do in such a situation? Will we pray for them? How his desire be fulfilled? If somebody has a strong material desire, they can't get out of their mind, what should we do in such a situation? Translation? I mean, for the local people, they don't need English. English is okay. Okay. If you have a strong, let's say you have very, very strong material desire, I have to have this, I have to have that, I must have it, I must have it, I must have it. You have to analyze yourself philosophically. Will this material desire save me at the time of death? This desire may be burning in my heart like fire. I want that girl, I want that boy, I want that money, whatever it may be. But one should think carefully, will this desire save me at the time of death? If I was on the deathbed right now and getting ready to leave my body, would this desire be beneficial for me or not? So one has to analyze, because death can come at any minute. You can drive home tonight, be killed in a car wreck, you see, or a motorcycle wreck. So one should always analyze, is this desire going to help me at the time of the ultimate time? So let me kick out any desire which is not beneficial for my spiritual well-being. And the way to do that is to put a spiritual desire in its place. You can't be desireless, no desires at all. We are desirers by nature. So if you have a very strong material desire, then develop a very strong spiritual desire. I must please my beloved Krishna, because that's the only way I can truly be happy. So instead of thinking, how can I please my tongue, my belly, or my genitals? How can I please Krishna? Because serving my tongue, my belly, and the genitals will not make me happy, actually. Just keep me more entangled in material existence. But how can I please Krishna? So Krishna, please bless me that I can kick out this material desire. My only desire to be to please you. This prayer works, you see. If you're bombarded with a material desire and say, my dear Krishna, please bless me now. My only desire to be able to please you, and keep begging, 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 and then go like this. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. That material desire just evaporate away. Yes, he finished. He finished, long gone. So that's it. One more? Okay. In today's fast-paced life, how to find time for chanting Hare Krishna? And how many rounds to chant? Well, the easy way is you rise early in the morning and chant Hare Krishna the first thing. You see. Not that, well, I get up in the morning and I take a regular quit and I get on my motorcycle and chant japa with one hand and the motorcycle with the other one. Hare Krishna. No, you have to have quality time. Go to bed early as possible and get up early as possible. You see. That's the key. Have quality time in the morning, your morning meditations before you take your breakfast. Have a quality time to chant Hare Krishna and read from Prabhupada's books in the early morning. And then that foundation, that spiritual foundation you connected with in the morning, they carry through the whole day. You see. Carry it through the whole day. That's the key. Early morning is the key. And how many rounds to chant? Well, what you can easily accomplish. Start off with 1 round, 2 rounds, work your way up to gradually 16 rounds a day, and then you can qualify to become initiated by the bona fide spiritual master, which empower you to get out of the material existence system. So start with 1 round, and then 2, and gradually, if you can do 6, I did 16 the first day. I wasn't working a job. I started with 16 the first day and never stopped. Some chant even 32. Guru Mataji chants 32 rounds a day. She's really advanced. So try whatever you can handle. Okay. I Let's see. As you told my previous question, that by chanting Hare Krishna mantra, that we start realizing God 1%, 2%, 3%, like this. But how can we check that how much percentage we realize because we don't see any progress? Don't worry about how much don't worry about the 1%, 2%, 3%. Don't even worry about that. Why are you even worried about it? You say, like a kid in the school, don't worry about it. Just keep chanting. And that's all. Just keep chanting. Don't worry about it. 1%, 2%, and 3%. Okay. A normal person must do at least 5 yagas, which we call Pancham Yagya. If someone follows Krishna consciousness, forget this Pancham Yoga of life. Is it okay? Well, in America, we don't have many of these things. But all the different things you may do, they're all covered automatically if you're Krishna conscious. Krishna says, give up all your, he says, Sarvadaman Parityaja Mamekang Shadadang Braja Ahang Tang Sarvapa Bebo Moksha Shami Mashucha. Give up all their duties. Sarvadaman Parityaja, all duties, give them up. Just fully surrender to me and deliver you from all, and completely deliver you. So you don't have to worry about all these different yogyas or duties. They're all finished as soon as you chant Hare Krishna. You become the perfect this, the perfect that. Perfection of all yogyas is chanting Hare Krishna mantra. Okay. Okay. The only benefit of learning all Vedic literatures is to confirm the glories of the holy name. Is it true? No, the studying the Vedic literature confirms the truth of everything, the truth of Krishna's pastime, the truth of our existence. Actually, unlimited things there's unlimited benefit by studying all the Vedic literatures, and the glories of the holy name is one of them. Unlimited benefit by studying the Vedic literatures. Anything else? Are we finished now? Yes?
Will one person's jealousy affect the other person? Because in this material world, there are concepts like evil eye and all. So often I have seen many people taking protection, wearing some bracelets and all. So will should a devotee or by chanting Hare Krishna, how can we understand that concept?
Will a bracelet save me the time of death? Or an earring? These things are not, there's only one thing to protect you, and that's taking shelter of the lotus feet of Krishna. Nothing else will actually protect you. This is just, it's basically, it's a make-believe thing. I can be protected by a bracelet. No. Do you want protection? Take complete shelter of Krishna, he protect you. Actually said, if Krishna wants to kill you, nobody can protect you. And if Krishna wants to protect you, nobody can kill you. I have personal experience with an armed robbery in our Miami temple. I chanted the name of God, and the whole thing was turned around. They came in with a rifle, and a pistol to rob us. And I chanted the name of God, the whole thing was turned around, they're running away, you see. So chanting the name of God is the protection in every situation. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Not a bracelet or a ring or, a hat or whatever. Special hat or special necklace, no. God's name is the ultimate protection from all difficulties. Anything else? All questions are answered? If they're not, you're too embarrassed to act publicly, then go to sign up for the e-course, www.joincourse.com, and you can ask me unlimited questions confidentially. Anything else? Or that's we wrap it up. Take time to wrap it up now.
Prasadam to distribute.
Prashadam? Okay. We're still in the Prashadam, all right.
Yeah, you all can take prasadam from Srila Gurudev, and you can also reciprocate by giving some Lakshmi. So by the time they are sitting, so before we move on to the vote of thanks, I have an important announcement to make. So a feedback form has been provided to all of you. Please take a moment to fill it out. We currently offer several